Hello and welcome to Thriving in Higher Education, our podcast. And my name is Dr. Estelle Young, but please call me Estelle.
Hi, and welcome. My name is Dr. Yvette Myrick, but please just call me Yvette.
So we are very excited today to present you with some tips. We have spotlight interviews with people to give their extensive experience with an issue, with a set of tips. And then we have crystallized from those interviews and done our own research and have our own experience. And we've created additional tips for you. And so today we would like to share just a couple of tips on um, uh, ways to self-define your own pathway, self-created pathways in higher education. So you don't, in higher education is a wonderful field in that you don't necessarily need a particular credential or degree in order to occupy a particular position. And so this gives us the opportunity to learn as an adult all the way, become a lifelong learner. So Yvette, share your tip on um, self-defined, self-created pathways.
Sure. And some of these tips they're in our book. So there are 5 tips we're just going to talk about 2 today. But please check out our book, Thriving in Higher Education Careers. And there's more in-depth information on some of the tips. There you go, that we're going to cover. So my tip is actually tip number 5, and is keep yourself inspired by updating your resume. And that is so key when we think about today's time and with COVID and working remotely and a lot of changes that are happening in people's careers. We think about, especially in higher education, where we were teaching face to face, and now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we got to do it remotely. Now I got to learn how to use Zoom or WebEx or Google Meet or something like that. And now I got to transfer my course from face to face. I got to use some learning management systems, be it Blackboard, Canvas, whatever you have to use. There's so many different things. And those are different skills. And you are trained, hopefully, by your college. You're trained at your college on how to use the technology and these resources and things like that. So, with all these new skills, all these new training, and some people are now becoming instructional designers, why not take all those new skills and put it in your resume? Why not incorporate all those things in your resume and update it? And you never know, you may want to go into educational technology because of this and things like that. So, my tip is when you go into professional development, you're meeting new people and things like that, you're learning these skills. Take that time when you're doing that presentation and update your resume. It may be something you just update it once a month, whatever you're doing, whatever training or whatever you're doing, maybe once a month, or you may want to just stay there at your current job, but at least keep that updated resume around. So that's my tip and suggestion when you learn skills and professional development and new training is keep your resume updated. So that's my tip. Mhm.
That's really great. Thank you. Something that really caught my eye was is a couple of different tips around a single topic. Really, is but wait, how do I gain those skills? How do I become self-taught in higher education? And at your institution, there are two big avenues for that. So, tenure track faculty have a specific 3 criteria, but they're often um, in most institutions, I believe, there's similar criteria. So, one is research, or it might be for a student affairs job, your professional area, professional expertise, then teaching or advising or whatever. And then there's a service component. And that service can be done within the institution or externally. And thinking strategically about that service component, it's a mandate anyway. I have to do it. But choose something that is going to afford you the opportunity to build skills. So, for example, when I worked at the Community College of Baltimore County, I was in a grant funded position. And so there was the opportunity for me to join grant writing teams that were writing federal and grant and state grants. And so I had no grant writing experience whatsoever. And I went from that to being a successful writer of federal, state, and foundation grants from that experience. No certificate, no degree, but just self-taught as I got to participate in that project. Another way to look at it, another opportunity, is you are placed on different committees, maybe a HR, maybe you're on a hiring committee or something. You're placed on something that you may not, at the initial look of it, it's not something that you want. But if you think of it in a different way, if you think strategically and look for the opportunities within that committee placement to gain a skill or two, or gain leadership opportunities, gain ability to collaborate with a particular person or department. And in that way, this task, which started out as being very onerous and odious, becomes something that gives you great benefits and opportunities. So self-taught pathways involve the constant strategic looking for opportunities to gain skills and gain experience at no cost to you that you can do within your institution. So that is the tip that I wanted to share today.
And documented those great tips that Estelle talked about, those skill building suggestions that she talked about, professional development and new tasks, documented either, because you may have to be evaluated. So document it. So when it's time for your annual evaluation or a resume, put it somewhere.
Resume, put it
right?
on your resume.
Definitely document it somewhere. So thank you. Great tips. And hopefully you all were inspired, and we hope the tips are helpful. Thank you so much for joining this episode. And I believe in you. Bye.
I believe in you. Goodbye.